Hello all, and welcome to the first kind of reading vlog per your requests. Hi Mambo. On the TBR video, so if you're new to this, last TBR I asked what book y'all wanted me to do a reading vlog for, and without a doubt, the most requested one was The Princess Bride by William Goldman. This is the fancy, I don't know what edition? 30th. No, this is just the 30th edition. We're gonna read the first 50 pages right now. Oh my god, there's a big introduction. And there's the 25th. There's so many introductions, so I guess we're just reading all the introductions. Princess Bride, here we go. But does it say page 1? No. This is a lot. A lot of weird introductions. I wanted to read the first 50 pages, but I'm a little confused to how I can properly track this book now. A lot. There's so many pages. I've made a mistake. There's an error. Okay, so there's 36 pages of introduction. And then we get into Princess Bride. Gosh, okay. So then that would be only 14 pages left. We get into 14, which is not at all. I don't know. Should I save the introductions for later? Or just screw it and go, I don't even know. Where's 50 pages on this side? Okay, cool. Maybe we'll go all the way to, the groom. Maybe that'll be good enough. That's a lot though. That's almost 100 pages that we're actually gonna start out with. So, yes. I've never read the book before. I've heard some things about it. I've not like really negative, but I've just heard that it's not as fun as the movie, which I don't think anything could be as fun as the movie because I love the movie so much. It was really good. Right, Mambo? Do you like the movie? Do you like Princess Bride? You don't care about movies? Funny, because you certainly love TikTok. She loves TikTok, by the way. She bounces along to like music videos on TikTok. Anyway, we're gonna get to reading now, and I'm gonna start, I guess we'll start with this first introduction, because it has the introduction for the 30th and the 25th. We do have lovely art that's in here. Very excited to read this, so I guess we'll just get started. Someone at my door. Yep, someone's at my door. Okay, that's been settled. That was the neighbor children wanting some boxes for fun. Also, I turned the fan on because it's hot. It's hot, hot, hot. Let's get reading, shall we? It's also like, I don't even know what time it is. 6:35. I'm extremely exhausted. I'm not actually feeling well, so minimal effort today with reading now. Cool. All right. Let's get reading. Okay, so we have finished the first introduction to the 30th anniversary. I'm very confused because I don't know the history of Princess Bride. I thought this was completely fiction, but it's like they're talking about someone named Morgenstern, and I'm very confused because I've only ever known it as like a fantasy movie, and I'm like, was Princess Bride based on like something true? I don't know. I'm like very confused here. We're gonna read the 25th anniversary introduction next, and maybe that will give me some more answers, because he does in this introduction say, why aren't you just reading the 25th? Go read the 25th anniversary one. That has more info. I got really annoyed though because he talks about going to the Morgenstern Museum, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I have no idea. But there's a guy there, the curator, total dickwad to him. He's like, you were a good writer once. And I'm like, oh my god, rude, dude. And his grandkid's pretty awesome though. I do like the grandkid that he has, so. that's my first foray into this book, this anniversary. So we'll read the 25th anniversary edition of forward introduction, which isn't as long. Yeah, it's not as long as that. And then we'll get into the actual book here. But I'm glad I read that, because now I have so many more questions, because they were talking about Fezzik and Vizzini being real people, and I'm like, what? What? I'm so confusion. So yeah. Onward, I guess. Hello. Hi again. I had to take a phone call from my mum, so it's now 7:41. But we finished reading the second introduction, the 25th anniversary introduction, and I was so confused about the whole Morgenstern thing, and so I went online to research, and this is what I'm really confused about. So it says that S. Morgenstern is the original writer of Princess Bride, and Goldman like took all the romantic bits or something and remade it himself. However, this is what I came across that I'm very confused about. The first is the classic tale of the Princess Bride, which Goldman claims was originally written by a writer named S. Morgenstern from the country of Florin. Both Morgenstern and Florin are entirely fictional, though Goldman refers to them as if they truly exist, both in the novel and his introductory material. Is this just very meta? Is he delusional? I don't know. I'm so confused. But he talks about there's a museum. I'm just, what? What? Can someone confirm? Like, I'm so confused. I'm just absolutely bamboozled right now. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to just start reading the book. We're gonna start with the very first chapter. We will read, I guess, some 60 pages, and then we'll probably call it a night, because I am exhausted. So let's continue forward. I'm gonna need to turn a light because the sun is going down. Cool. Okay. I'm so confused. Moved out here because of Birdie bedtime. I've finished the first like chapter of the book. I see what people are saying about like, okay, the Morgenstern being fake thing. It's very meta because the author puts himself into the story, and like it's his story of him actually abridging the fake copy thing. I hate the first chapter. I will say there's a lot of unnecessary stuff in it. Like we could have easily just done this a lot differently. There is this unnecessary, like, semi-cheating on his wife, who's this brilliant shrink, which I think is real. I don't know who this shrink is, but he's, like, in Hollywood, and there's this joke that his wife says, hey, no starlets now, and he responds with, they're all extinct, honey, but he's at this pool and meets one, and starts flirting with her and checking her out. And I'm like, where is this necessary? And like, he has phone calls with his wife lying to her about being in a conference right now when he's flirting with this woman. And he does it several times. And his wife picks up on this, doesn't call him out on it. But I just like, what is the point of having this in this book, especially this book about like true love and all that? Why is that in here? Why was it necessary? I'm very confused by that. Anyway, we're gonna read chapter 1, The Bride, which is this lovely field of flowers here. We're gonna start that, we'll read that, and then we're gonna move on to a different task for the night. But I don't know. I might just go to bed early because I'm so tired. But yeah, we're gonna read this. I'm annoyed by that first chapter. What the hell? And on top of that, he fat shames his kid. Constantly. His kid is 10. And he's calling him a balloon. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you joking? Yeah, just... I already hate him. I hate him so much already. We immediately are fat shaming again. Immediately. What is with this? Just a quick thing. There's a little check-in here. It starts out talking about this Duke and Duchess for the year that Buttercup was born, and the most beautiful in the world was the scullery maid, and the scullery maid likes chocolate, so the Duchess makes her whole palace out of candy, and says inside a season she went from delicate to whopping, and the Duke never glanced in her direction. Really? Really? Frickin' annoying. Am I gonna have to deal with this the whole time? We've gotten this far in. Now we have gotten to the groom. So with that first chapter and like kind of comparing to the movie and stuff, there are parts of this that I would have loved to see in the movie. For one, like there's this whole other thing with the Countess, and she's a pivotal reason for why Buttercup realizes her love for Wesley. And she has parents and stuff, and so you don't see those in the movie. And there's this confession scene that, man, I would have loved to actually see this confession scene on screen. I would have liked it. I mean, I still like how it's done in the movie, but in the movie it always felt weird to me with the way, you know, their interactions were. So it would have been nice to kind of see Buttercup's frustration with realizing her feelings for Wesley and like having this actual confession about it. So yeah, I would have liked to see that in the movie. There is a lot of emphasis on being the most beautiful woman around. Buttercup becomes obsessed with that once Wesley leaves, because she's like, I don't want to disappoint him when he comes back or when he sends for me or whatever. And that's always, just for me personally, that's an annoying thing. Sometimes I don't understand the logic behind certain things. So Buttercup confesses to Wesley, and Wesley's first instinct is to shut the door in her face. Like, I get that now you have the motivation to go make yourself something in order to provide for her, but literally? What? Sir! So that's where we currently stand with the book. Yeah, so far mostly annoyed. Some fun things, but I'm mostly annoyed at this point. We will see how this goes, but I'm going to put it down for a bit and try to work on a few other tasks tonight, and we will continue with this vlog eventually. Cool. Hello, welcome back to day 2 of reading The Princess Bride. We are on chapter 2, The Groom. We are live with Hala right now, and we're on a sprint. Let's begin. Okay, so chapter 2, very short. It's all about Prince Humperdinck. And again, Prince Humperdinck, very different from the movie in this. Once again, we're kind of fat shaming. Humperdinck is apparently 250 pounds. So naturally he's the villain. But he's also, you know, he hates animals, and so he has the Zoo of Death, which I never knew if that's what that was called in the movie, if they mentioned it as the Zoo of Death, where Wesley gets taken to be tortured. But there's also apparently 4 other levels where he hunts different types of animals, and in this scene he kills an orangutan. So animal death warning for everybody. We're moving on now to chapter 3, the courtship. Okay, we have finished the courting. Oh god. I'm starting to like it more. It had more humor in this chapter. The whole thing with Gilder, and there was this whole other thing with a princess from Gilder that's not in the movies, but it's entertaining at least. I like how the prince courts Buttercup, because we don't see that in the movie, and I just love this whole scene. She's like, I am your prince and you will marry me, and Buttercup says, I am your servant and I refuse. I am your prince and you cannot refuse. I am your loyal servant and I just did. Refusal means death. Kill me then. Like, go Buttercup. But she does agree in the end, obviously, because otherwise there wouldn't be a story. Yeah, so now we're going on to chapter 4, the preparations. And we're gonna run out of sprint time soon, so I might not finish this chapter in reading this, but we'll continue forward. Just kidding. Chapter 4 is 1 page. It's 1 page, and it's all Goldman talking about what he's cut out and how there's 105. Oh no, wait. There's 105 pages of nothing happening except Buttercup's training as a princess. And then with one thing and another, 3 years pass, and we move on to chapter 5, the announcement. So last night my camera died while I was reading, and I just didn't feel like turning it back on after that and replacing the battery. So it is the next day. Hello. We're going to try to get through another like 100-ish pages. We'll see where that ends us up. We are currently on page 130. Wesley, or the man in black, excuse me, spoilers, is just about to get atop the cliffs of insanity before the duel with Inigo. So a very wonderful scene. Let's continue. We have now finished chapter 5. We are on page 196, so I still have like 40 pages to go to read 100 pages, which was the current goal. But that chapter was super long, and it goes through everything from the Cliffs of Insanity, the duel with Inigo, what the heck? Inigo, and the fight with Fezzik, the battle of wits with the Vizzini, and the fire swamp. And has just ended where they are recaptured by the prince. Mostly the same, a few differences. One of the bigger ones is that Wesley is actually not, like, in the movie he seemed very confident that like this was always the intended plan. And there's also, they have some differences in what is in the fire swamp. So like the scene where Buttercup's dress actually lights on fire in the movie is not in here. He just already is predicting that. And then the quicksand that they have is actually called snow sand. And there's this whole moment of them both actually kind of dying because he has to let go of the vine, and that doesn't happen, but it's still fine. They also argue a little bit. It's a little weird and funny. But yeah, a lot of the dialogue is the same as it is in the movie, which is what I really appreciate, especially between Wesley and Inigo. And it's, you know, fun. It's fun. This was the most fun chapter. We're moving on to chapter 6, the festivities. I don't know. Maybe I will finish this today. I don't know. We'll see. I'm like halfway done with this chunky book. And I also got book mail. I just got book mail from Pango, and they gave me a free book. They gave me this book too, and I don't want it. I'm like, I like that people are nice on Pango and they give you like free stuff. Like they always throw in stickers and things, and honestly, I don't like having I don't have a lot of things to put stickers on. But I also don't necessarily like getting the random free book because I don't want this book. And now I have to figure out something to do with it. But I don't really read Meg Cabot. I don't particularly like her writing. So that, but we did get a few others, and I've just torn off all of the library binding. But we have The City of Lost Fortunes by Brian Camp. We have How to Mars by David Ebenbach. And then I bought my mom a book, which was Between Two Worlds by Tyler Henry, because she's a really big fan of him. And then we also got our order of City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaefer. It's very glossy. Yeah. And I also got some clothes, which I haven't opened yet, because I was like, no, stop opening all your packages and finish this chapter before you do anything else. So I'm gonna take a mini break to open that, and then I will continue reading. We have reached our 100-page goal of the day. I might go forward. I am technically still in the middle of that chapter. A couple differences as well is with the Zoo of Death, which I don't think they ever call it that in the movie, where Wesley is tortured. Apparently that machine that he gets tortured on is not even ready. It gets tested on a bunch of animals first. And we're only just now about to get to Wesley actually being tortured in that sense. And yeah, Buttercup also has a ton more nightmares rather than just the old lady going, boo, that lady. She has a few about her babies. And it's very interesting and weird. But yeah, not a whole other else difference. I'm still enjoying this. The interjections, a lot of the interjections is almost too much. There's some parts where it's like, okay, I like that, and that you can see how they did that with the movie, but sometimes it's kind of overkill that it's happening, in my opinion at least. So like I like the whole kind of meta aspect of it, but I do think there's just too much going on with how Goldman is playing up this kind of satire of this being an abridged of a real classic that doesn't actually exist from an author who does not exist, and a country that does not exist and stuff. And I think it's just a bit too much. A little too much there, but okay. We're gonna move on to some other stuff that I have to work on. Maybe we will continue this tonight. I don't know. It depends on how productive I am. Ta-da! Hello all. I have returned home from work today. I've worked out already. You can kind of see I'm still a little flushed from that. I also got some sun today at work because it's inventory time. And why does the camera keep thinking there's a face next to me? Hello, ghost. Okay. Smile. Cool. We're back to reading. I have like 160 pages left of this book. We're gonna try to just read it tonight because I have to edit this video for Friday. So we're on page 230. There's 390 some odd pages. This might be all I do tonight, but I want to finish this book. So yeah, I forget where did we even leave off? Zoo of Death? Yes, we're in the Zoo of Death. He was about to be put into the machine of pain. the water wheel of pain. So let's get to it. Okay, we have finished chapter 6. We are moving on to chapter 7, the wedding. So we're now on page 257. And we've gone through the machine. Wesley is now dead. Inigo and Fezzik are now going in to the tree where the Zoo of Death is. And yeah, there's only like subtle differences here, just in dialogue. Also, like, I remember in the movie, the machine goes all the way up to 50. And here it's only 20, which is like it's like a weird difference that I don't know why they changed to being 50. I mean, I guess 50 is more dramatic, but wasn't interesting. The dialogue for the Count, like reading it, I hear Christopher Guest. That's all I'm gonna hear. That's all I'm ever gonna hear in his voice. Like, he does a villain so well. And it's funny just remembering Princess Bride and knowing that's Christopher Guest, and then going and watching Waiting for Guffman or watching Best in Show and something with him. It's just like, so funny. Okay, we're going to continue forward. That's our check-in. Chapter 7. Okay, so I have to stop for a hot second. Couple of differences right here, some bigger ones. The Zoo of Death. For one, it's not in a tree. I keep saying it's in a tree. It's not. But it is somewhere underground. But the door drawing is not a tree. Also, Fezzik and Inigo fight off like a giant snake and a lot of other things in order to get to Wesley, and that was totally cut from here. But we're at Miracle Max right now, and we have used a derogatory term for a Spanish person. Max is saying that, and I don't like that. I'm glad that wasn't in the movie. But I just had to be like, whoa, what the heck? Let's not use that word. Very easy not to, Goldman. So, quick interlude, continuing forward. Alright, we have finished chapter 7. I am sad that we don't get the whole marriage scene. That is purely for the movie, I think. We are on to chapter 8, the honeymoon. We have revived Wesley. The Miracle Max scene, I mean, a lot of it is very similar. I mean, they have the whole line of, I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. That's one of my favorite lines in the whole movie. Guys, reading vlogs take a lot of battery. I'm just putting that out there. So anyway, yeah, that was my favorite line in the movie. I love the Miracle Max scene in the movie itself. It's great. We're also about to get a thunderstorm, so that's perfect for reading time. But yeah, we've done that scene. The marriage, I guess, is very quick and has already happened, and we're moving on. And now I can't open the book because it's too thick. 299 is where we are at. So we've got about a little under 100 pages to go. Whew. We'll get there. We'll get there, hopefully. And maybe I can do something else tonight too, because I'm trying to be super uber productive right now. But this takes precedence for the vlog. Cool. Yeah. Anyway, my head itches. It makes me really want to watch the movie, and then I immediately really want to watch Robin Hood Men in Tights. I think those are Cary Elwes' top 2 best movies ever. So, might need to have a movie marathon this weekend, which is not something I normally do because I don't really watch a lot of TV or movies anymore. But this is putting me in the mood for it. Ooh, rumble, rumble. Okay, just kidding. They do the marriage thing. It's here in the honeymoon chapter rather than the actual wedding chapter. But it's there, yay! Okay, so technically the book is actually finished. The last chapter, I have a bone to pick here. I do not like how Wesley treats Buttercup all of a sudden. He shouts at her, "Woman, you are property of the dread pirate Roberts." And like, he's telling her to tie up Humperdinck and stuff. But like, excuse you, Wesley? Woman? Property? Y'all supposed to have true love and you treat each other like this. That's one of the things that in the book, like it makes me think like they're not gonna last. The rest of the book is actually called Buttercup's Baby, which is the unfinished like sequel or something or other to this. I'm gonna read it. I don't know, I've never heard about it, but yeah, that little annoyed by that part there. I still think the movie's better. So I'm gonna just read Buttercup's Baby real quick, see what that's all about, and then do a final review. To the final review right now. Hello all, I have finished reading the entirety of the 30th edition of The Princess Bride, including Rosemary's Baby. Wrong! Buttercup's Baby. Wow. It is currently thunderstorming out here, so I have my door open and I was sitting here reading while listening to the storm. So real quick on Buttercup's Baby. Unfucking necessary. I hated it because it kills the character. And the thing is, God, Goldman inserts so much for no real reason on the premise of this abridgment, and it's like, I get it, it's supposed to be like this satire meta kind of thing, but I don't think it really works all that well, especially in Buttercup's Baby, because it's like every paragraph he inserts something, and it's always like, and this is where Morgenstern talks about vegetation, and this is where Morgenstern talks about trees, but when you know it's just Goldman doing it and pretending, like, it kind of lost the charm of the meta insert. Like, the movie has the charm of the kid and the grandpa. It has a little bit of charm there. It lost it a lot here because it's too much. There's both the inserts of him as a kid and his dad reading him, and then him as the writer abridging it. Like, it's just too much. I would have loved this a lot more without all of that all the time. So that's mostly the part about the book that I don't like. I did still really love it. It still has a lot of the charm of the story that we all love in the movie, but I do think the movie's better. Hands down. I don't like how Wesley and Buttercup really treat each other. Especially, I mean, their entire attraction is based on looks, so that does not actually last in real life, people. Like, Wesley talks about how he was besotted with her in Buttercup's Baby and stuff, and how badly she treated him, and I'm like, so you literally just like her for her looks because she was so mean and she had no substance to her character. What's there to like? So that part I don't really care for. I mean, Buttercup, you know, has great lines and stuff in the movie. She's still fairly spoiled and not the greatest of all heroines. Inigo and Fezzik are the top tier characters of the entire story, in my opinion. Which is why I'm so angry about Buttercup's Baby. Unnecessary. Unnecessary. But yeah, you can read it. Honestly, you can skip a lot of the inserts that Goldman does, because I don't think they actually add anything to the story unless you enjoy that kind of thing. And like, I love a good footnote and stuff, but it's just weird, this entire classic fake country, and Goldman doing it not just within, you know, the story itself, but him talking about his abridgment journey that never actually happens. And also, there was way too much talk of Stephen King in this, especially in the little foreword before Buttercup's Baby, and like how we grew to it. Apparently Stephen King was the one who was supposed to abridge it, and they're besties, and I'm like, why? I don't get it. Look, this is not his genre for one, but I just did not get the amount of Stephen King inserting into this. like, it just didn't make sense. So a lot of this stuff could have been cut out of this and it would have been a much more enjoyable read. I still enjoyed it. I'm probably am just gonna give it like 3.5 stars in general. Not quite a 4-star for me. Definitely not a 5-star, but it's not quite like bleh 3. It still holds charm. It still holds pieces of my heart in it. But overall, could have been better. It could have been better. So I'm gonna sit here and watch a thunderstorm for the next, whatever, how longer it lasts, but I only have 40 minutes until I have to go to bed, which means I really can't do anything super productive, but I'm glad we finished that. And hopefully this video is out on time. All right. Check out the next TBR video if you want to vote on which book I do a reading vlog for in the future on the next TBR. And I will see you next time, cuties. I'm gonna go now. Bye. Every time.